Continued business justification is right at the top of the list when we come to principles. That's because it's asking all the way through the project, are we still meeting the objectives of the business case? The business case is initially created in the starting up a project phase. It is that which the business and the sponsoring executive look at to decide whether or not to move into an initiation phase for the project. So once you have the business case, it's the foundation against which the project will be judged. It'll unfold and be unpacked and expanded in the initiation phase. But throughout, at every stage boundary, you will be checking back to say, are we still on track to add the value that we intended? It's amazing that we still don't learn from experience. Most companies struggle to have a central repository of all of their institutional memory, and there's good reasons for that, and historical disjointedness and silos within the organization, and no easy way of sharing or filing or keeping a library of experience, but we need to get better at it. It's the lifeblood by which we save money by reducing waste and not repeating the same mistakes time and again. It's the way that we anticipate risks and mitigate them before they become anything to worry about, anything that hurts the project. So right from the startup, we start looking for previous experience in previous types of project, and we start to include them in our planning and our assessment as to the feasibility of the project in the first place. And then when we get into initiation, we are looking to build more into our risks and our assumptions and our dependencies. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities are a principle because we know how bad it is when people don't all know who is responsible for what. This is a problem at board level through project management and team leads. And in fact, so much responsibility sits on the project manager to continually make sure that the board is performing its duties as much as the team leaders are performing theirs. So this goes very much to organization from top to bottom of those who are responsible for making decisions and identifying issues and raising escalations. Prince 2 says that you must manage by stages. It means that you mustn't have some vague rolling delivery that you can't measure, you can't monitor, you can't draw a line in the sand every now and then to say, are we where we're supposed to be? Are we delivering the value we're supposed to be delivering? Do we have the right resources? Are we handling changes correctly? Is the scope creeping? All of this is assisted and resolved by managing by stages. We know that we track by stages and we can control throughout the stages between one and the other, and we can report as we come to ending a stage. We know how to judge if we're in the right place at the right time with the right product. Managing by exception is a fundamental difference from how most people think you should manage and track and escalate into your board. If you manage by exception, it means that you aren't reporting every detail up through from the project teams and the work streams through the team manager to the project manager to the board, and the board having to look through all of this reporting just to find out if there's something they need to take action on. So managing by exception takes the view that problems will be dealt with within a team. Issues could come above the team to the project manager, and exceptions are those issues that need intervention by the board. So the board should only be getting a report on a very highlight basis and an exception basis. But unfortunately, we're still in the space where most boards expect to see all of the detail. If you have 6 work streams, they want to see the reports for 6 work streams. Instead of being told that all the work streams are fine except for work stream number 2, that has an issue in the following, or it has a risk on the horizon and we need to deal with it. Going with the exception makes for a much shorter, clearer decision-making process than looking through 6 work streams to find out that everything's okay except for work stream number 2. Focusing on products is another fundamental. We are so used to doing work breakdown structures in our planning. We're so used to wanting to track a project by the activities progress. Have you done half of the activities? Instead of saying, how close are we to achieving the product? Are we on track for the product? Is the product going to do what it's supposed to do to the quality that we expect? Or are we 50% of the way through the activities to produce this product? If we focus on products, we have an end goal that the team know whether they have to rally around in order to make up lost time or whatever it might be in order to deliver the product on time. But if our focus is on the activities, it's almost that saying that you can't see the wood for the trees. Tailoring to suit the project is a principle because we can over-engineer our solution for a simple, straightforward, short-running project. If we think we have to apply the strongest of Prince2 approaches to every project, we're going to have too much of an overhead on a project which actually requires a combination of a few different themes, or realizes that everything doesn't have to be a hugely loaded end of stage boundary management process. It's saying, look, if another part of the business has a slightly different approach, we can adapt to the approach. We won't adopt the approach and still try to call it Prince2, but we can adapt to the approach in such a way as we can still honor the principles and include the themes and follow the project life cycle. It might be called something else, but we want to be sure that all of the checks and balances that are built into the principles, themes, and processes are present. But we can tailor to suit the size, the complexity, the organization, the type of product, whatever that might be, so long as we know we are covering all of the bases.